Look at the clam stuck to his lip. Snot run out of his nose. Just perfection. Just absolute perfection. Hi, I'm KP. This week on Wine and Winds, I'm gonna try to blow your mind with 5 incredible facts about my favorite animal, the walrus. What's your favorite? Drop a comment down below, and maybe we'll do 5 incredible facts about your favorite animal. You see, I'm a marine biologist who spent her entire career working with animals like penguins, sea otters, and 2 amazing baby walruses. And if these 5 facts aren't enough, head on over to my Twitch channel where we play games, host Q&As, and analyze viral animal videos. That link, of course, in the descriptions below. Number 1 has to do with the walrus mustache, that famous beard. Did you know that walruses have around 250 individual whiskers on the front of their face, and that each individual one has its own blood supply and nerve ending? Amazing. In walruses and other pinnipeds, which are those fin or feather-footed animals like seals and sea lions, we actually call their whiskers vibrissae. And that's because those whiskers serve a really important purpose, and that is to sense vibrations. Vibrissae, vibrations, get it? These whiskers help the walrus to forage for food on the ocean floor, where they're sensing the vibrations of things like clams, which tends to be a very large portion of their diet. Number 2, did you know that both male and female walruses have tusks? So if that's the case, what in the world are those tusks for? While walruses can be seen using them to spar with each other, the real purpose of the walrus tusks are actually to aid the walruses in getting out of the water. Normally, walruses will haul out on huge ice floes, but it can be very hard to get your enormous body weight out of the water onto that slippery ice. So they use their 2 front teeth, those tusks, as a kind of lever to help to pull themselves up out of the water. And that is the main purpose of their tusks. Now, of course, everybody knows that walruses tend to live where it's cold, up in the Arctic. They will sometimes forage for days out to sea and never come back on land in that time. So if that's the case, how do they stay warm? Of course, walruses do have that big blubber layer, but fact number 3 is that walruses can actually shunt their blood away from their extremities. That means to say they can actively pull blood away from their flippers and their skin in order to pull it inward and keep it in those vital organs to help keep them warm. This is also why sometimes you see walruses being various different colors. A lot of people have seen walruses that are almost purely white in color. Those are walruses that have probably been out to sea for a long period of time and have been shunting that blood into their internal organs and away from their skin. Then when they lie out in the sun on those rocks and icebergs for periods of time, they turn a really darker shade of red. That's because they're allowing that blood to go to their extremities and help release some of that heat that they're generating. Pretty cool. Bonus fact, walruses actually lose their fur in the wintertime and gain it back in the summertime. Now, why in the world would this be? Well, if you look at the walruses, you may notice that even though they do have some fur on them, it's a very thin layer, and it's probably not helping to keep them warm at all. Instead, that fur is actually protection against the sun. So when they lose it in the wintertime, it's because it can be dark for almost 24 hours a day up in the Arctic. They gain it back in the summertime to keep the sun away from their skin. Number 4, walruses can whistle. Turns out I can't. There we go. That's the best we can do. Walruses are actually known for a wide variety of vocalizations.
Roar. Good. Butter. Good. Sing. Sing. Good. Hum. Good. Click. Good.
A lot of them having to do with breeding. Walruses have incredibly muscular faces, almost like humans.
Good.
This allows them to make a wide variety of vocalizations that are just not possible for a lot of other animals. Walruses are the greatest. Number 5. Walruses are the greatest. Oh, that's not written here. Number 5, and perhaps most importantly, walruses are extremely affected by climate change. Walruses tend to rely on ice floes in order to haul out of the cold Arctic Ocean. But with the warming climate, they're not able to find those as readily. So instead, walruses are hauling out in huge numbers on the land. On an ice floe, if a walrus gets startled by something, they can actually dive off in any which direction. But on the land, there's typically only one way back into the water. What this means is if walruses are spooked into a stampede, they can actually trample each other on the way back to the ocean. The actual leading cause of death in walruses is other walruses during these trampling events. This is directly related to the lack of ice in the Arctic right now. We can all help just by doing the little things we're already doing, picking something new every single day, making a point of chipping away at global climate change. Do it for the walruses. Do it. Do it for the walruses. These are just a few of the reasons why walruses are my favorite animal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when the next video goes live. Thanks for coming to Wine and Wins. There's a bubble on your head. Uh-oh.